What's going on, guys? Coach Derek here with Faceoff Factory, and today we are going to be reviewing the Duel 3. For this review, we are going to be going over the strength, the flex, the scoop, the overall usability, and my personal overall opinion of the head. We're going to tally these up for a score at the end, so stay tuned to figure out what the Duel 3 is scored. To start, the strength of the head itself. Personally, this is an upgrade in all facets of the term between the Duel 1 and a little bit better than the Duel Flex in my opinion. The shape of it is pretty well. This one is used, I probably used it for about 1,000 reps, and you can see that it's maintained its shape fairly well. So the biggest issue I found with the Duel 1 and 2 is when they were broken in, they didn't break in conventionally the same way. It was always a different flex in how the head was. So in terms of strength and how they break in, the Duel 3 does a great job maintaining its strength once it is broken in. Of course, it's going to be stiffer when you're first using it, and as you face off, you'll get a little bit more of that give, which personally I like, especially when clamping the ball. A couple more things I wanted to touch upon with the strength of the head is in tie-ups, it holds its own very well. Obviously in the heat, it'll get a little bit more flimsy, but when you get the ball to the throat of the stick, in that tie-up situation, it is very hard to press through and bend this head off of the ball or your opponent doing that to you. Last piece of the strength that I would say is very rarely do I ever see these heads break or snap. I personally have never broken one, and I've only heard 2 of the kids that I coach actually snap one of the sidewalls. But overall, I very rarely see these heads actually snap, crack, or break. So with that being said, the strength score I am going to give the Duel 3 is a 4 out of 5. It's missing that last point because it does get a little flimsy after you break it in, but overall, solid head, solid strength, can't complain. Next, we are gonna be going over the flex of the head, okay? So with the flex, one word to describe it is good. I really like how, like I said earlier, how it grabs the ball, how it kind of engulfs the ball with the flex, especially once it's broken in. The flex point is generated around the ball, so you'll never really see it kind of expose that ball when you do get it. I do think it has something to do with that offset, how it comes out a little bit more, but overall, I like the way that it grabs the ball, especially in a full clamp to pinch. And like I said, with the strength aspect, it does maintain its shape fairly well. Like I said, I took about 1,000 reps with this one, and it's only shifted a little bit that way, and it became a little bit more narrow, but overall, maintaining the shape is one of the biggest things for flex, and I think the Duel 3 does a great job with this, and especially a better job from its previous brothers. Now, here's the important part, the face flex versus conventional flex. So, we all know what a face flex is. It's the CO3, CO2, or the burn, and we press down and through, lifting our left hand with both rails onto the ground. This head does not face flex whatsoever. And if you guys try to face flex it, it'll create like an open pocket here, which will not grab the ball. So it definitely is more of a conventional, people refer to it as oblique flexing head, but that's something I personally like, and I'm not a huge fan of the face flex heads, because when they do get warped like that, that's when you start having issues with throwing the ball, catching the ball, things like that. Another testament to how well this head maintains its shape. So for a flex score, we're gonna go with a 5 out of 5 for the Duel 3. The scoop. So as you can see, they have this thing, this little notch right here. I'll post a video overlaying this, but it has what's called the speed scoop technology. I'm pretty sure that's what they call it. And honestly, it doesn't help that much. However, I see massive improvements from the previous renditions of this head, and I think it's a lot better. So it's not great, but it's definitely better, and I would definitely define it as good. The biggest issue I have with the scoop, especially the Duel 1, the Duel 1, if you guys have used it, you know when you went to scoop a ball, it basically became a flimsy noodle and would absolutely melt in the turf. This one doesn't do that as frequently. Like I said, it's a little bit more rigid, a little bit more stiff with that flexibility when force is applied to it. But as long as you have good fundamentals, you should be able to scoop any ground ball no matter how the scoop is. But it definitely flexes less in that noodly position when you're going for a ground ball. So that's what I like about it in terms of ground ball pickups. Overall, the Duel 3 scoop, it's just better than what it has been before, and for that reason, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Next is the usability. So how are we gonna be able to use this on the field, at what level, etc.? You know, I kind of want to start with in terms of ages. I personally would not recommend this head for the younger guys, the novice guys, people who are just getting into face-offs. Biggest reason being is the offset of this head, how far it sits out from where it sits on the shaft makes it a little bit more difficult for kids and newer players to understand that concept of top edge down and clamping on the ball. I noticed the young guys that do use this head usually push the ball into the other guy's stick very often, and obviously we don't want to do that. So to understand those skills and those techniques a little bit more, I would not recommend this head for that. However, the advanced users who really understand the control in pressing through the ball, getting that pinch, clamping off the whistle, those advanced users will have a lot of fun using this head and a lot of success, especially when they're quicker than their opponent, getting that flex point that I like about the head. And yeah, so that's kind of my usability perspective from that standpoint. Young guys should stay away from it. Older guys, I recommend at least trying it to see if you like it. And on the field, when you're playing, you can pass, catch, score, do all that stuff. I find it a head that you can conventionally use just as a lacrosse player as a whole. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, just because it's not suited for all ages. Now, my overall opinion of the Duel 3, it is a good head. It is a solid head. I like it a lot personally. I think they did a great job improving on listening to face-off guys on what needs to be done to make the head better. It lasts long, if not forever. Very few breaks. I've literally coached countless guys that have used it, and only 2 guys that I've coached since the head came out have actually been able to break it. So that's one of the reasons why I think very highly of the head. Maintaining its shape too, can't complain about that, and how it flexes around the ball is personally what I like the most about the head. So with that being said, I'm gonna give my personal overall opinion a 4.5 out of 5, knocking off that 0.5 points for the fact that I don't think newer or novice guys should be using the head, just for how the offset is and how it can ruin their technique or frustration if they're not winning face-offs. So that's the only reason. Other than that, great solid head. STX, thank you so much for making something that is decent and better. You guys keep improving your products. And so that is what I think of the Duel 3 thus far. Other than that, not really any complaints. You can throw with it, you can play with it, you can definitely face off with it. And with that being said, the overall score is a 20.5 out of 25. Solid head, definitely get your hands on it and try to use it if you can. I would recommend it for those more advanced users or guys who are trying to use a different head because they think something else could work for them. Other than that, I think that's gonna be it for now. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more head reviews or content like this, definitely comment down below and let us know what head we should review next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.